this. Just getting situated. This will probably work, actually.
You gonna do a YouTube?
Yeah, I got it. I'm streaming the live right now.
I'm Siri.
Yeah, I just turned it on.
Hello.
Nobody's
my name
on
is
yet,
Susan.
luckily, so I
I
can
am
fix
a-
my hair.
Hi, I'm Siri.
If they watch the replay, it's gonna look. All right, there we go. Hey, it's Christmas morning, give me a break. I should just have a stocking on my head, but. All right, yes, so. Nope, it's not gonna work. There we go. All right, so. Where were we? So you're asking about the fear.
Yes.
And since we were not specifically necessarily working with an emotion, but you said you were working on releasing with the body, with the muscles, with the tissues, and that at a certain point, usually what happens is you release through it, and then the tissues open, and it songs. And this time, you would find pockets of freedom or release, right? But this fear that was emerging.
Yeah, it was when the muscle would release and I was able to start stretching the fascia and trying to song it. With that initial muscle release, it released this fucking fear.
Yeah, well, when you say it released the fear, did the fear leave, or did the fear become manifest to you?
No, it became manifest to me, and like I said, I sat in it, and that's when I was sitting with the fear. That's when I was getting those pockets of relief, and then the fear would come back, and it was almost like it was breathing.
Very interesting. So initially what comes to mind is that it's definitely common for things like deep-seated fear to arise when it's not like, it's not linked to anything in your mind. You're not thinking about anything, you're not worried about it, but you're doing some releasing work, and then it comes up because it makes sense. It's lodged in the tissues, right? The tissues and the subconscious are intimately linked. So you heard the title, at least, of the book, The Body Keeps Score, right? I didn't read the book, I read the title. That was enough. I got the memo, right? Yeah, body keeps score. Everything that happens, everything we experience, it gets imprinted on our fascia and into our psyche. And so when we open something that's been closed, it's like opening the Ark of the Covenant, right? You open the thing up and it releases all that terror, melts your face.
Yeah, and it was making sense to me because my chest has been locked for so fucking long, and just getting the first little releases in there was amazing. But now that I'm able to drop more awareness in there and release more, like I said, it's something I've never experienced with this work. Like when I open up spaces in my quad, I get that sense of freedom. Mm-hmm. But when the chest started releasing, it's like it's just bringing up shit that I guess I'm just supposed to experience and deal with and let go.
Yeah, I mean, the opening of the body and the releasing work is going to bring all of it up, right? And we have untold and unknown fears. It's like an entity. It's like a living energy within us, but it's hidden to us most of the time. It comes out in small amounts, right? And it ekes out into our thoughts, into our worries, our concerns, all that kind of stuff. But more than that, it's like a living energy that radiates a frequency. And even if it's not triggered in that moment, it's palpable, it's noticeable. But then when it gets triggered, it maybe not to us, right? But somebody who's sensitive in that way could certainly pick it up. And so the opening process is going to cause us to confront that fear. And what do we do with it when we face it?
I sat with it and just gave it compassion and, did all the things that you have taught. You're okay to be here. I didn't try to push it away, didn't try to stuff it back into my chest. That was probably the hardest thing, because that's immediately what I wanted to do, was just like, no, get back in there. I don't want to see you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was incredible. And the space I have in my chest this morning is fucking profound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Openness, buoyancy.
And there's still some residual fear residing, but that's okay.
And also the process we did yesterday is it's extremely potent. But the way that it works, one of the ways that it works is that it's got to reconfigure the structure of our bodies and our minds. And if you think about it, most of the work in the personal transformation space is either working with one or the other or toggling back and forth. So it would also make sense that you experience this mix of things: release, freedom, fear, and we're just doing some training, some processing. But in simple terms, one way of thinking about it is that we have the quantum field, or the liminal space, or the alternative space, the space of all potentials, right? The space where all potentials exist. Just like with any mathematical formula, let's say you have a certain number of potentials. Like, you can't just use any number and throw it in there; it won't work. But there's a massive amount, let's say, in a certain equation, of potential numbers that can function in that equation. And you could choose any of them, right? You have the freedom to choose any of those, but you can't choose anything at all. But you have massive freedom in what you can choose. So what we're doing is we're going to that space and targeting a particular quality or experience, or we'll just stick with that for now. Quality or experience, or like we could say, like your higher self, the person you want to be, right? Who you want to become. And you can go into that space and find that and connect to it. And then through the method, shift into the embodiment of that being and hold your attention in that space while it reconfigures your body and your mind.
Let me see if I get what you're saying right. To get to that person you want to be, you have to go through some shit first.
So this is like rewriting that code. So the shit that we experienced, which made us who we are today, for good and bad, right? It's like written in code. And normally to change this is arduous and takes a lot of time and effort. And certain amount of that effort and time is likely necessary. But we can greatly accelerate that transformational process by changing the code. Now the code still has to run, right? So it's still going to take some time, but when you change the code, then that code starts running, then it instantly starts creating change within the being. So now you have new code running in your being with old hardware. So the hardware starts to get upgraded naturally through the process. And all that we need to do is hold our attention and be present with that quality. And this is probably the trickiest part. I think it's probably the trickiest part to describe, to explain, and to talk about. Because it's really like you have to experience it to know what I'm talking about, but how do I get you to feel what it is? And you may already have a sense of what I'm talking about. But, you can go there and then you can go right back. You can touch it. You can actually leave here and go there and then get snapped right back. And, not much benefit. More like a glitch than a shift. But if you can, through the training, one way or another, and it doesn't matter if you use the funnel method or the other method we won't even speak about. But once you go there and you maintain, you stay there. There becomes here now because you're there, right? But it's a very different experience than just coming back here versus I go there and I stay there. And as long as I stay, now that code is getting more and more hard coded and it's giving the body a chance to run it so that it can shift. And now I'm just staying here. Now I'm not going to go back. There's nowhere to go back to. That code's been overwritten. So I just continue to stay here and continue to allow it to unfold and transmute and transform. Enjoy this quality of presence that, man, drastically has increased. And, what you can do with this seems limitless. There's so many shifts that we can make. And one of the shifts that I made was to gather more bandwidth. And the way to do that is, funny that we were just talking about this, closing programs that are running that don't need to be running, that are running in the background, just like on Wally's phone. So, I'm a musician, music lover my whole life. Also, this has created problems for me because I always have a song running in my head in the background. And I could go into a 7-Eleven and hear a song for 20 seconds while I'm doing other shit, while I'm having a conversation, and then the next thing you know, that fucking song is in my head for a week straight. I'm tormented by it. And so this has been one of my challenges in meditation as well. It's like that's the one program that's sometimes hard to stop. How do I X that fucker out? I don't need you running. Yes, I know this song. We've heard it 1,000 times.
I don't need to hear his fucking Silent Night for fucking 24 hours a day. Please, give me
Yeah,
a break.
God forbid it's Hey Sarah, thanks for that tip. Yep. And we were talking about the subconscious and the psyche. I'm not sure when you popped in, but yeah, totally get that. Sarah says, don't close programs that you use frequently because you use more energy to open them, right? Yeah, but mostly we're talking about unnecessary, unwanted programs like a song running in the back of my head that's just taking up bandwidth, right? It's actually just, it takes a whole, if my bandwidth is like 365 degrees global, we just take a big pie chunk slice out of that fucker and nope, this is dedicated bandwidth. We need this because we have to loop this song in the back of your head constantly.
All right, boys, I gotta hop, unfortunately. See you,
Okay, man.
see you mañana.
All right. See you mañana. Merry Christmas, bro.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, boys. Love you guys.
Hello, hello. So, yes. So I decided, if we wanted to use sort of reality transurfing language, that kind of thing, we could say there's a version of me that exists in the alternative space which already has a clear head and has eliminated that problem. When I was talking to Jason yesterday, I was describing my thought on this process, and maybe I'm biased. But I said it's like the goose. No, it's like the golden egg. It's like a golden egg. But it's not just any old golden egg. This golden egg lays a goose that lays golden egg laying geese eggs. Yeah. The goose that will be birthed from this golden egg lays golden eggs that hatch into golden egg laying geese, and so on. Right? Just to kind of give it its sense of value, because it seems to deliver more accurately and with speed what most personal transformation tools or systems promise, but don't deliver on. You ever buy a course, you're watching the promo, you're like, this is going to be fucking amazing. This is going to change my whole life. It's going to be fucking amazing. And you buy it. And then you go through that course. And the course is good. And you're like, yeah, that was a good course. And it did change my life. Not the way I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like, But now I'm like, no, it was actually good. It was definitely, I needed to do that. It was worth the investment of time and energy and money, right? But there's still more. So it didn't like finish the job. Now it took care of that. So now I got to find the next tool to take care of the next piece that process exposed, right? Or the wherever it's lacking. Beautiful. So we can literally become almost anything. Like, we'll still be us, right? But what us means could radically shift and change, like radically, and it can happen really fast. It will happen really fast, provided those conditions are met. And the main condition is the one I was, talking about, where the hard one to explain, to describe, whereas it's just you stay with that. You occupy that new space and maintain it. And it has a felt quality to it, right? It's not just mental. It's not just your attention. Your attention has a quality to it, as we found with the zooming in, zooming out, and the leaf exercise type of thing. That your whole being is involved with your attention. So long as my attention is in that space and I'm occupying that quality, then that code is running, and it's not only rewriting, it's restructuring. It restructures and reshapes the physiology, because it has to. Different person has a different physiology. And the other thing is that you will find it harder to engage in the traits. It will be more difficult and more uncomfortable to engage in the traits that are not in alignment with the new identity, we could say. All right, so, well, we'll go through a little something, probably pick a specific tool to use, and I'm gonna jump off from the live stream right now, guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Super cool to meet you. I'll be doing more of these lives and working ways to interact more, as the process is not linear, right, Sarah? Make sure you guys are subscribed, so you'll get the notification when I go live in the future. All right, much love. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Love you all. Peace.